I'm going to show you how to smoke ribs today while I work from home. And I'm going to show you how to make your own rub like this for about $2 for this whole container instead of buying these for like $10. Because why? This is mostly sugar and salt anyway, dirt cheap stuff. Same with this, sugar and salt, mostly. So I'll show you how to do it all and how to make your own sauce using the same ingredients as the rub just by adding tomato sauce and vinegar to it. So hold on, I'm going to get these ready. I have St. Louis and baby back. I'm going to do 1 rack of each. I'll be right back. I'm going to clean them up and get them ready. They're out of the package now. When they come out, they're a little bit wet, so you just want to take a paper towel, dab them off, flip them over, dry them off, get all the moisture off the surface, and then we're going to flip them over. And the first thing you want to do is get rid of this skin that's underneath. Still a little bit wet. I'm going to dry them off a little bit here. All right, so what you're going to do is take a regular old butter knife, kitchen knife, not a sharp one, the rounded edge one. And you're going to go right in between here, in between the bone on the back side of the rib, in between the bone and the skin. There's a little film underneath there, if you can see that. You see that little film there? Let's see. See that? How it's kind of like underneath there. You can see how this is going under it. And you want to just peel that little film off. It's not the easiest thing. It'll tear, it'll shred, it may be cut up a little bit, but you just push the knife through, get it through there, get it up, work it up. I see it already tore on me, and then just grab it and just peel. It probably won't come off in one piece. You're going to have to get under there a couple times, grab it again, peel it off that way to the edge, and then come over here, grab it some more, and keep peeling it. It keeps all your rub from getting onto the meat. So I'm going to do the other one. One little trick when you're peeling the membrane off is you can't grab this stuff. It's too slippery. But just grab a paper towel, grab the edge of it there, like this, and then just comes right off. Paper towel grips it. And once you got most of that membrane off of there, because you get that rub to go right down to the meat. So now the rub. Like I said, this stuff is mostly sugar and salt. I'm going to put the recipe up, but it's sugar, salt, MSG, I use that. I like it. Gives it a good flavor. Also, cumin, chili powder, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder. That's really it. And that makes this up. I'll put the recipe up with the proportions so you can make it at home. It's great. And if you want to turn this into sauce, you just add a can of plain old tomato sauce, the cheapest brand, doesn't matter, and vinegar. You can use the 5% vinegar that comes in the little bottles. I like the 6% Heinz vinegar that's a little bit stronger without being watery. Now I got a smoker. I'm going to put these in the smoker. If you don't have a smoker, it's okay. You can still get that smoky flavor in the ribs by buying a bottle of liquid smoke. Rub a little bit on both sides. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. It'll put the flavor in there, and then put your rub right on top of that. So let's go for it. I'm going to cut these in half because these don't fit on my smoker. Ta-da. Done. Now these are ready to get rubbed. So the rub is the easiest part. I always start on the back because if you do this side and you flip it on the cutting board, it's all going to stick to the cutting board. That's all. No real secret there. And I go super generous. I just sprinkle it, pour it on there. There's a layer of this stuff. You can't go wrong with too much rub, I don't think. And then once I got all the rub on there, on this side, I'm going to put them into my pan, start stacking it. And then I have a little secret that I do once I've got the rub across here to try and get that rub to stick. Got a spray bottle with my 6% vinegar, and I just wet it. Lets it stick. Now I know a lot of people do mustard, they rub mustard and stuff on there, olive oil. I don't like that. It just never worked. To me, the vinegar flavor is what's in the sauce. This adds a little bit of vinegar right into it, and the smoke will stick to the moisture. It's weird. If you put in ribs dry into the smoker, they don't get that same smoky richness. But if you get them a little bit wet with the vinegar, it does. Now, my ugly old smoking pan. More rub. Like I said, can't go wrong with too much rub. And vinegar. And just coat the sides. You can do the whole thing. You can be really picky with it. I don't try to get really picky because it's going to be in the smoker for a while. I'm going to put some more of this on there later on. Some of it's going to rub off. Some of it, the fat's going to take off. And this is it. That's the prep. And you can see how generous I'm putting the stuff on there. The more the merrier. You can't go wrong. And finish it off with some vinegar to make it all stick. That's it. Ready for the smoker now. I'm going to smoke this uncovered for about 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours. I'll keep looking at it just to see. Once it looks like it's got a little bit of a dark, kind of a brownish, smoky glaze over it, then I'm going to take them and cover them up. I'm going to put them back in the same pan here, wrap it all up tight so that they don't dry out, and let them cook. And I'm cooking at a really low temperature, about between 200 and 225 on the smoker. If you're going to do these in your oven, put them in the oven on a pan, lay it out, put it at the lowest temperature your oven will go to, maybe 225. If it's 250, that's fine too. After about an hour in the oven, go ahead and cover it. Seal foil around the edges of the pan and let them go for like another hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. You're going to be cooking these in total for almost 4 hours to get them to be that sort of fall off the bone, but not quite fall off the bone texture. And they're going to turn out perfect, whether it's in the oven or on the smoker. This is my smoker. It's not a very fancy one, but I've had it for 4 years and it works great. No pellets, no electricity, no Bluetooth monitoring, nothing. Just a little bit of oak wood thrown in the bottom. And you can already see the smoke coming out. Just gonna go ahead and load it up. And just like that, in a couple hours, we'll have ribs. All right, it's really smoking now. You can see that oak, it's really putting the smoke out. It's infusing the meat with a smoky flavor, that richness. We're gonna let it go for probably an hour and a half to 2 hours on the smoke before we cover it up, then another 2 hours after it's covered. It's 4 hours later, and I have to admit, I cheated. I had some ribs already, but check them out. These look so good. Ooh, you can barely see them there. Let's pop one of these out. Still steaming after resting. They rested for about a half an hour. And look at this. Wow. Just gonna cut right through there. Just kind of crumbles as it cuts. Doesn't even cut. It just kind of crumbled. And look at that. I mean, that is the way a rib should look. And I don't know if you can see it, but it is steaming away. This is delicious, super easy to make. The recipe's up there. I've given you everything. Go for it. Really easy.